فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Kamaruddin speaking from ICO UK. It is the time of the year when we receive a lot of questions from UK Muslims. When is Ramadan likely to start, and also when is likely to be Eid-ul Fitr? So please stand by while I share some slides with you. Jazakallah khair. Before we explain the predictions, need to explain a few keywords. So please realize that the keyword terms new moon is the invisible moon when the moon is between the sun and the earth. So there is no light reflected from the moon to reach the earth. So it is invisible, and most of the lunar calendar base their starting with new moon conjunction, the invisible new moon and not the visible moon. The crescent moon is the first visible phase of the waxing moon, and that happens about 24 hours after new moon conjunction, appearing after sunset on the western horizon, and it grows continuously until it becomes full moon when it's opposite side of the sun and the earth, and then it starts reducing, waning, and it will be seen before sunrise on the eastern horizon about a day before new moon, and then it goes into hiding. So the phase between waning moon and waxing moon is called the new moon phase, that is in Arabic called mahak, and it's 2.5 days. There are 27 visible phases of the moon and 2.5 days invisible, making a total of 29.5 days. So that is the crescent moon, which is different from the new moon on your diary as a black dot. Fatwa, some of the rulings given are decided by senior scholars, Darul Ulum, Darul Iftas, and based on Quran, Hadith, and jurisprudence, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala requires them to do so. So a fatwa means a legal ruling from an authority. So that was those definition. Now let us look at what is the boundary. On the left here, there is a local, regional, and global boundaries. You can see this diagram at the end of our fatwa booklet on our website, explaining what is local, regional, and global. But basically, if the visibility between sunset and moonset, which happens about 1 hour after sunset, if that area is shared by one area, one country, then that is a local boundary. If we go further down towards the equator, we find that Morocco shares most of the months with UK's horizon, about 8 out of 12. So we can consider that as a region within the boundary, local boundary, neighboring boundary, as a regional sighting. However, if we go very far away from our own locality, as far as Saudi Arabia, even though it's 3-hour time zone away, but the sunset difference is 4-5 hours, especially in the summertime, then we would not share the visibility of the moon with them. And so they are not in our local and they're not in our regional zone, but we call them global. Anywhere else, rest of the world is global. Similarly, South Africa in the opposite hemisphere, 8,000 miles away, we don't share the visibility of the moon with the UK, so they don't fall under local or global. So that's the definition, and we've been campaigning for local sighting since 2008. That is why we ask a lot of UK Muslims to join us for reminders and send them declarations. So that's the definition of local, regional, and global. Now let us look at the Ramadan prediction. So in order to know when Ramadan will start, we need to know 29th of Shaban, because we look for the Ramadan moon on 29th of Shaban. So the Shaban moon was born on 29th January 2025. And you can see the new moon conjunction on the right side of the visibility map, 0 hours. And these are hourly lines, the age, and labeled every 2 hours. So by the time it reaches Saudi Arabia, the moon is about 3 hours old, but it's set before the sun, so they would have completed the month as 30 days. So the beginning of the Shaban, it was completed 30 days. It was 28th in UK and Morocco, and so we didn't even look for it. So the next day, the whole world would have sighted the moon, and we have done so on 30th January 2025 in UK. Our testimony panel have received witnesses. It was also sighted in Morocco, and they have sent us the facts that it was sighted. So the beginning of the Shaban was on Friday, 31st January 2025, when Saudi Qura completed 30 days, and Morocco sighted, so they completed 29 and began from the next day, and so was the UK. So all regions started the Shaban 1446 on the same day. But look here, the 29th of Ramadan, actually 29th of Shaban, for looking for Ramadan Hilal will be on the same date. So on that date, the new moon conjunction has happened, and the moon is about 14 and a half hours old when it is over Saudi Arabia. Um, but it is very low on the horizon, maybe about 1 degrees. But moon has set after the sun. So there Ummul Qura claims uh, the next day will begin from the 29th. But from many years of data, it is not possible to be seen by the human eye. We come to Morocco, and even though they're border with naked eye and optical aids, they only accept a clear naked eye sighting, and they're unlikely to see a 17 hours old moon at fairly low altitude, and they're likely to complete the month as 30 days. And in UK, it's a code D. We do not have any data of sighting the moon with any means. And so UK is likely to complete 30 days. However, by the time it gets west of USA, they're likely to see the moon and begin Ramadan next day. But by the time they sight the moon, it will be our next day. So because they are 8-10 hours afterward, so we do not share any sighting zone with them. So let's look at the calendar. Saudi Arabia will start a month from 1st of March 2025. Morocco will start from 2nd March 2025, and UK is likely to start from 2nd March 2025 as well. But a lot of people are burning to ask the question, what if we cite it with optical aid? This answer I will give towards the end of this presentation, so you'll just have to be patient. Look, because the starting is different with Saudi Qura calendar, the 29th of Ramadan is going to be different. So 29th of Ramadan in Saudi Arabia is likely to be 29th of March, but in Morocco and UK is likely to be 30th of March, one day after. So the moon is born on 29th of March at 10:58 Universal Time, GMT, and it is unlikely to be seen on the same day the moon is born. Remember, we need to allow 18 to 24 hours age, as well as elongation and altitude for it to become visible. So on the right side, 0 hours, that's a new moon conjunction. By the time it reaches Saudi Arabia, the moon is going to be about 4.5 hours old on 29th March. And it's going to be less than 1 degrees altitude. But because the moon set after the sunset, even though realistically no one would be able to see it with a telescope, if somebody claims they've sighted it, then they are likely to begin the month from the next day. So it is their 29th. But from UK and Morocco, it is 28. So we may not be even looking for the moon on that day. The next day, 30th March, the moon would be easily visible throughout the whole world, including UK and Morocco. So most likely, Eid-ul Fitr is likely to be from the following day. So let's look at the calendars. Saudi Arabia is likely to do it on Sunday, 30th March, and Morocco is likely to do it on Monday, 31st March, and same in the UK, inshallah. So this is the summary. Saudi Arabia will start Ramadan on Saturday, 1st March, and Eid-ul Fitr will be on Sunday, 30th March. Morocco is likely to start Ramadan on Sunday, 2nd March, and Eid-ul Fitr is likely to be on Monday, 31st March, and same as UK. So unfortunately, it looks like both beginning and end of Ramadan is going to differ with the Saudi Qura calendar. We have to wait and see their declaration, because sometimes there is sunstorm, and those early sighters can't claim a sighting, so they complete 30 days. But according to their past record, they are likely to start one day before the local and regional sighting. Finally, I wish to ask all our UK Muslims that it is a communal obligation for Fard al-Kifaya to establish a Hijri calendar based on local sighting as per Quran and Sunnah. And we have already created the structure and the methodology, and all we require the public to do is register here, and once it is approved, please send us a report. Once you're registered, it's a 1-minute click to send the report. If your report has expired, you have to pay a subscription fee to reactivate it. Otherwise, it is quick and easy to send us a report. But if you can't do that through the quick method, then we have another method for everyone else. Go to Contact Us page and send us your report as a email, including your full name, city, naked eye or binoculars, whether cloudy or clear, and most importantly, a mobile number, so we can contact you to arrange your testimony, inshallah. Now, coming back to answering that question asked at the beginning of the Ramadan prediction, what if the moon is sighted in the UK by binoculars on Friday, 28 February 2025? We do not have any UK data for a code D sighting by optical aids. So if we receive a report in the evening of 28 March 2025, sorry, 28 February 2025, our ulama panel will consult senior scholars before making a declaration. And this is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran فَإِن تَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ فَرُدُّوهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. If you disagree, dispute, or quarrel whether to accept optical aids, then refer it to Allah and His Messenger. And this is in Surah An-Nisa, verse 59. So the senior scholar will say, has ruyat happened or not? It is not for the Joe public to make that decision. It is a fard al-kifaya. Only senior scholars are entitled to give a decision, particularly for the month of Ibadah. So leave it to the scholars to give us a decision based on Quran and Sunnah. We have asked the question. It might take some time, but our ulama panel will give a decision in the meanwhile, inshallah ta'ala. And we have a lot of relevant fatwa on our moon sighting UK website. So please have a look. And there are specific one for major lunar standstill, which we are currently going through in 2025. That's all I have to say. Jazakallah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.